Hey YouTube, it's jurracmaster, and I'm back with Jurrac Flamvell. It's been a while since I've done this, and the new format's out, so I figured I'd put one up. I've been working on this for a little bit now. I've been thinking about it for a week, and I just put it together today. I'm not really going to test it. I've never been a big fan of Jurrac Flamvell myself, but I'm pretty decent at making the deck, and I figured I'd put it up for people that want to, use it and need a basis of where to start, what I cut out, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to put this video up for people that want to use it. I'm probably not going to test it very much at all, if at all. That being said, it is a pretty good looking deck. The extra deck was a little bit tricky because there's a lot of stuff I wanted to throw in there but couldn't. And the main deck works out pretty well. So I'll just get right into it. So, Alright. Switching back and forth from that's kind of annoying. Alright. For the deck, I have 3 Jurrac Guaiba, 3 Jurrac Velo, 2 Jurrac Dino, and 2 Jurrac Aeolo. That's the 10 Jurracs in here. Onto the Flamvells. 3 Flamvell Fire Dog, 3 Flamvell Magician, 1 Neo Flamvell Saber, 2 Neo Flamvell Shaman, 1 Flamvell Baby, and 1 Flamvell Pwn. That's a total of 21 monsters, 10 Jurracs, 11 Flamvells. The monster lineup is pretty solid for this format. I'll go over why I've got things where I have them at the end of the deck profile. So I'm just going to move on to spells. They're a little bit weird in the way I've ordered them. I just kind of threw the deck together and put it in some order. So I have 1 Monster Reborn, 2 Pot of Duality, 1 Pot of Avarice, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Heavy Storm, 2 Forbidden Lance, 1 Fossil Dig, and 3 Rekindling. So I'm going to move on to the traps. I think that was 12 spell cards, and there will be 7 traps. So that's just the numbers if you guys were curious. It's not a very trap heavy deck. It just kind of goes off, has a little bit of protection. So I have 1 Solemn, 2 Deep Prison, Mirror Force, Torrential, and 2 Black Horn of Heaven. So that's the main deck. I'll just make a quick run through the extra deck, and then I will get into the explanation. So I have 1 Roach, 2 Utopia, 1 Leviair, 1 Trishula, 1 Stardust, 1 Colossal Fighter, 1 Thought Ruler, 1 Scrap Dragon, 1 Deity, 1 Black Rose, 1 Bryonic, 1 Gaia Knight, 1 Librarian, and 1 Formula. So, just covered pretty much the standard stuff. Level 8s are obviously a big deal in a deck like this, so that led to some complications. I'm used to only needing maybe 2, maybe 3 at most probably, but in this deck I have 4 level 8s, so that was kind of complicated for me. I might be able to take out 1, maybe a Thought Ruler, who knows. But really, you can design the extra deck on your own. You don't really need me. I just cover what I think is important and give you guys my point of view, my input, all that kind of stuff. That's mainly what I hope you guys get out of my videos, is less my decks, the way I run them, because it's just the way I like them. And I hope you get more of you know, just my input, some second set of eyes for when you design your own deck. I mean, you could always just take my deck and play with it card for card, and if you like it, go ahead and play that. But I'd prefer you, if you're going to do that, you take my deck card for card, play it, and then change it up based on your own play style. You just played my deck card for card to get a feel for the deck. That's what I'd prefer, but you can do what you want. I'm just here to help. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious what the Jurracs are at, up to these 6 here, the Guaibas and the Velos. After that, 2 Dino, just because of room, and I originally had 1 Aolo, but I figured I'd throw 1 more in there because I bumped Rekindling up to 3. Originally I was thinking about putting it to 2 and focusing more on Exceeds and Synchroing sometimes, but I figured I'd bump it up. So the Jurracs are there, just an obvious element of this deck. Now next up would be the Fire Dogs are pretty obvious, 3. The Magicians I have at 3 because they're very important in this format especially. So just keep that in mind. 3 is pretty important, seeing as they're your level 4 tuner to make your level 8s. Next up is Saber, so I can make Deity, and his effect can come in handy. And getting to the end here, the 2 Shaman are a nice level 3 that help out. They make Deity, they're a good card, all that stuff. And they're a 1700 beater, just like my Jurracs are. And I have Baby, because it's a nice level 1 tuner that gets summoned back with Rekindling. I know I have 2 others, but this one is also a Pyro if some situation should arise. I believe Deity. No, never mind. It's Pyro non-tuners. So it's useful. It works on every monster in this deck too, which is another reason it's in there. And this guy searches searches your Aolos, and I think that's it for Jurracs, but it searches all the Flamvells obviously. So that was a useful card. Plus it makes Formula, which is I think about the only way I can make it, but Formula is a nice little draw power card and all that. Let's see what I have on the spells. Would be 2 Lances as opposed to 3, because Lance isn't all that important in this deck. It's got the Flamvell aspect. I mean, it's a very helpful card, but I can afford to put it down to 2. 1 Fossil Dig because of the ratio of Jurracs and the searchability of them. Seeing as all I really need to grab is 1 Jurrac, because I'm either going to grab Guaiba or Velo, and that basically leads to getting pretty much every single Jurrac I have, and I don't need to have that dead Fossil Dig in hand late game. So that's why that's in there at 1. And Avarice, another choice that might have confused you, seeing as this is a pretty grave-based deck, mainly for late game after you've gone off and you need your monsters back. But basically any time after you use Rekindling and you're pretty set, you can always add them back for the hand advantage. It's just there mainly for late game though. And lastly, 2 dualities. I was originally putting in 1 Gold Sark, and I was going to add in some other card of my choice, but I figured I'd rather just search the top of my deck and just be a little more conservative, as opposed to wait 2 turns to get 1 card, such as Rekindling. The deck doesn't need Rekindling as much to go off as Flamvells do, although I'm not saying Flamvells really need it, it's just Flamvells abuse it a little more than this. A little faster, I should say. So I'm not so concerned about getting the Rekindling because I have a ton of beat sticks and other plays I can make without it. So that's the only reason I switched to duality, because Gold Sark is just not as important, seeing as I'm not milling in this deck as well. So The traps are pretty straightforward. They're all just pretty standard. I mean, these certainly are. All of these guys here. These are the slight variant there. I just don't want to pay for warning in this deck. I'm not a huge fan of it right now, and this stops pretty much everything that warning stops, except normal summons and all that other stuff that warning stops. But I don't think the 2,000 life points is worth it, because most of the time Black Horn gets the same thing that I would have used that on anyway, which is basically Exceeds and, you know, synchro monsters. So you can use warning if you want. It's just, I honestly think Black Horn is more worth it. So, oh, I was also thinking about Compulse instead of Black Horn, but I needed the negation mainly in this deck. I have the Deep Prisons and the Mirror Force and the Torrential for that. A lot of times I run Compulse, but this time I'm running Black Horn. So finally, the extra deck. I have in the 2 Utopias and the 1 Roach, because 4s are pretty easy to make in this deck. That's kind of the whole idea behind the engine. You have the Guaibas do that, the Velos save 4s, and you get a lot of level 4s that are easy to get out with your Flamvell engine as well. So that's why those are in here. Levier just works really well. Doesn't need too much of an explanation. But if you really needed to, you could take out either a Utopia. Let's see, what else would you take out? You could take out Thought Ruler if you're not too fond of that. Or lastly, you could probably take out some other card you find unnecessary. But for now, I think those are the main cards you'd want to take out, the 2 main ones. If you wanted to throw in either this, number 17, Leviathan Dragon, as an option, or a second Levier, that would also work. So you could take out either of those 2 would be my suggestion if you have to have one of those 2 guys in there, or any other card really. And then the next suggestion I would make for taking out one of those might be Cataster. I don't find 5s too important, and the only 5 I have in here is not Android, the Librarian, just because it makes nice combos, and that's the only reason I would really need a 5 in this deck. So, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope I was helpful to you, and have a nice day.